Good afternoon, good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start our fourth unit, multipath mitigation technique. Okay, multipath mitigation techniques. This fourth unit we are going to study about various equalization techniques: linear equalization, non-linear equalization, and some algorithms that we are using in this equalization method. Then we are going to study diversity, microdiversity, macrodiversity, and error probability in fading channel. Then rake receiver. These are the topic we are going to cover in this multipath mitigation techniques. Okay, today we are going to start our first topic, equalization. So here, okay, what is equalization? Okay, we know we are sending a data from a transmitter, then it will receive the receiver through a channel. So what is equalization means? It is just a method of amplitude and phase compensation. Okay, that is mainly used to reduce the inter-symbol interference created by the multipath. That is, while we are transmitting a data from a transmitter to receiver, it goes through various paths. Okay, in these various path means various channels are there. So in this various channels, there will be a lot of inter-symbol interference and all will be there. So just to reduce that inter-symbol interference, we are just using this equalization method. Okay, so it is a what is equalizers? It is just a filter, okay, which equalize the dispersive effect of the channel. Okay, just to this is a filter equalization. That filtering process is called equalization. Okay, yes, what is equalizer? Which is used in the receiver side. Okay, the filter which equalize the dispersive effect of the channel. Okay, so here we just to improve the receiver quality and link performance, we are using three techniques. Okay, just to we know we are transmitting a data, and in the receiver side we are receiving that information. So in the receiver side we want to get the clear information, right? So we have to improve the signal quality and link performance over over small scale times and distance. So various techniques are there just to do the just to improve the received signal quality. They are equalization, diversity, and channel coding. Okay, equalization, diversity, and channel coding. So what is equalization? That is just a signal processing operation. Okay, that minimize the inter-symbol interference. Just to reduce the inter-symbol interference, we are using a signal processing operation that is called the equalization. Okay, in the radio channel, a variety of adaptive equalizers can be used to carry interference while providing diversity. Okay, diversity means there will be multiple antennas will be there, multiple receivers will be there. That all comes under this diversity. Okay, in the radio channel, a variety of adaptive equalizers can be used to carry interference while providing diversity. Okay, that is there are a number of variety of equalizers are available. So let's see about what are the types of equalizers. Okay, so the equalizer is classified into two types. What are they? Linear and non-linear equalizer. Okay, what is the linear as well? Linear equalizer. What is non-linear equalizer? What is a linear equalizer? That is the equalizer in which the output is not used in the feedback path. Okay, to adapt with the channel. We know we are transmitting a signal and receiving a signal, right? If this received signal is not using as the input for the next signal, that is there is no feedback path, not used in the feedback path. Okay, the output is not used in the feedback path, that is known as linear equalizer. What is non-linear equalizer? That is, here the output is feedback. Okay, feedback to the input to change the future output of the equalizer. For the future, if there is any modification required for the future purpose, we are using this non-linear equalizer. That is, we are just using that feedback path. Okay, that is, in linear we are not using the feedback path. In non-linear we are using the feedback path. Okay, the non-linear equalizer is divided in, again it is classified into three types: decision feedback equalizer, maximum likelihood symbol estimator, maximum likelihood symbol detector. Okay, what are the three things? Decision feedback equalization, maximum likelihood symbol detection, maximum likelihood sequence estimator. Okay, then what is this? So the decision feedback equalizer, it consists of a feed forward filter. Okay, this decision that you will study later in details. Decision forward feedback equalizer, it just consists of a feed forward filter. Okay, here the received sequence, we know in the non-linear equalizer we are using the feedback, right? So in this, the received sequence is given as the input. Okay, that is, it just connected to the feedback filter uh, to which the previously detected sequence is given as the input. Okay, okay, next one, MLSE. What is MLSE? Maximum likelihood sequence estimator. Okay, it is also mainly used in the used as non-linear. It is a type of the non-linear equalizer. Here the it reduces the probability of sequence error in the mobile communication. Okay, it is also used to reduce the probability of sequence error that is coming from the various channels. So it is mainly used to reduce the probability of sequence error. Okay, in the mobile communication link. Okay, next one, a symbol detector. What is symbol detector? Okay, it is also used to reduce the inter-symbol interference that is caused in the channel. Okay, so these are the three types of what non-linear equalizer. Okay, so what about the first one, decision feedback equalizer? So it is just based on the output of the received signal. Okay, the output is fed back to the input and then it will produce the out. Again, this just for their clarification, or if there is any errors or something like that, they have to reduce it. So they are using this decision feedback equalizer. Okay, then maximum likelihood sequence estimator, just here also the errors will be reduced. Okay, then last one, maximum likelihood symbol detector, just for the detection of the symbols. Okay, and then next one, linear equalizer is classified into transversal linear equalizer and latitude linear equalizer. Okay, so the here in this, the what are the algorithms that we are using? Okay, that is given here. For the transversal linear equalizer, we are using zero forcing algorithm, LMS algorithm, RLS algorithm, fast RLS algorithm, square root RLS algorithm. Okay, then in the lattice linear equalizer, we are using gradient RLS algorithm. Okay, Next, this DFE, decision feedback equalizer, is also divided into transversal as well as lattice equalizer. So in the transversal DFE we are using LMS, RLS, fast RLS, square root RLS. Okay, in the lattice DFE we are using gradient RLS algorithm. Okay, then maximum likelihood sequence detector, we are using transversal channel estimation. Okay, in that we are using the algorithms in MLSE and MLSD are using the same structures, that is transversal channel estimation. Okay, in that we are using the algorithm LMS, RLS, fast RLS, then square root RLS. Okay, these are the algorithms that we are using in this equalizers. Next, we are going to see the topic adaptive equalizer. Okay, in the adaptive equalizer, that is, this equalizer are used to track the time varying characteristics of the mobile channel. Okay, and it is called adaptive equalizer. Okay, so we know there will be various channels are there, right? In between the transmitter and receiver, the transmitting signal is gone through various number of channels. Okay, so this adaptive equalizer, it is used to track the time varying characteristics of the mobile channel, and it is called as adaptive equalizer, just used to track the time varying characteristics of the mobile channel. Okay, since the mobile fading channel is random and time varying modes of an adaptive equalizer. So here there are two modes for the operation of the adaptive equalizer, that is training and tracking mode. Okay, in the training, first a fixed length of training sequence is sent by the transmitter. Okay, then the receiver equalizer may adapt to the proper setting for minimum bit error. First a fixed length training. So here there are two modes of operation. Okay, training and tracking mode. Two modes of operations are there, training and tracking mode. Okay, first a fixed length of training sequence is sent by the transmitter. Okay, so there will be a training sequence. First they will send a training sequence from the transmitter to the receiver. Okay, that's just to, this training sequence is just for the checking purpose. Okay, okay, here in this training sequence, a sequence of that bits that we are transmitting is non. Okay, so in this a sequence of non bit is transmitting. Okay, the it is just a pseudo random binary signal. Okay, so from the receiver to the from the transmitter to the receiver, we are just transmitting some bits, that is some non bits are transmitting from the transmitter to the receiver. Okay, so this non bits, that is the training sequence. Okay, just to check the channel clearance, if there is any interference, symbol interference, if there is any errors, if there is any errors in the channel. Okay, that all will be done through done using this training sequence. Suppose if we are transmitting a sequence from the transmitter and it will pass, that is known by us. Okay, that sequence is known by us and it is receiving to the receiver side. Okay, so in the receiver, if there is any errors occur in this non bits, okay, it will be rectified in the receiver. So after receiving that signal, they will set some values. Okay, so first a fixed length of training sequence is sent by the transmitter. Then the receiver equalizer may adapt to a proper setting for minimum bit error rate detection. Okay, so this training sequence is a pseudo random binary signal or a fixed prescribed bit pattern. After the training sequence is transmitted, that is they will check whether we are getting proper value or not. Okay, if we are getting the proper value, they will if they didn't get the exact value, they will set some changes in the coefficient. Okay, coefficient values they will change, and then again they will send the immediately following the training sequence, the user data is sent to evaluate the channel and estimate the filter coefficient. Okay, that is just used to estimate the filter coefficient, that is we have which value we have to set for the proper reception of the signal. Okay, that is done using the training and tracking sequence in the adaptive equalization. So the adaptive equalizer at the receiver utilize an algorithm, recursive algorithm, to evaluate the channel. So it will evaluate the channel and estimate the filter coefficient to compensate for the distortion created by the multipath in the channel. Okay, in the worst possible channel condition, the training sequence is designed to permit an equalizer at the receiver to acquire the proper filter coefficient. Okay, so it will just by checking the what channel, they will set some filter coefficient value. Okay, after setting that filter coefficient value, they will start to transmit the data. Okay, so in that case they will get the proper data. Okay, as the user data are received, the adaptive algorithm of the equalizer tracks the changing channel. So when the data is received, this algorithm will track the changing channel, which channel is changing too much. That is determined by this adaptive algorithm, okay, of the equalizer. Okay, the block diagram of this communication system with an adaptive equalizer is shown here. Okay, here in this, right. This figure shows the communication system with the adaptive equalizer. Okay. So here in this, first the original baseband message signal M of t is passed through the modulator. Okay, first the signal is passing through the modulator. Then it is modulated, then it modulates the signal and then pass on to the transmitter, then to the radio channel. Okay, then it is at the receiver side. Okay, RF receiver front end. Okay, then IF stage. So here the X of t signal, okay, be the original signal information, then it pass on to the transmitter, then it pass on to the radio channel, then to the RF receiver front end, then IF stage, then detector matched filter, then there add the noise. Okay, then in the receiver side the equalizer is there just to check the errors in that. Okay, so this equalizer enhances the frequency component with the small amplitude and attenuates the strong frequencies in the received frequency response. Okay, so next it pass on to the decision maker. So whatever so they will check with the data. Okay, if there is any error, it will again feedback to the equalizer, and we need more equalization. It will just tell we need more equalization, more clear data. Okay, again in the receiver output we get the reconstructed message data D of t. Okay, so F of t, that is the signal. This dotted lines box shows the F of t signal. It is the combined IR of the transmitter multipath radio channel and the receiver RF or IF. Okay, the equalization techniques can be broadly classified into two types. What are the two types of equalization? That is linear equalizer and non-linear equalization. Okay, what is linear equalization? If the output of D of t is not used in the feedback path to adapt the equalizer. So here just check this. Here the output is feedback to the equalizer, right? So which type of filter is there? Non-linear equalizer. So if there is no feedback path to adapt the equalizer, then that type of equalization is called linear equalization. Okay, next, non-linear equalization. If the D of t is feedback to change the subsequent output of the equalization, then this type of equalization is called non-linear equalization. So the most common equalization method that we are using is linear transversal equalizer. Okay, it is made up of tapped delay lines with the tapping spaced a simple period Ts. Okay, this linear transversal equalizer, it is made up of tapped delay lines. Okay, with a tapping spaced a simple period Ts. Okay, so here it is given okay, linear transversal equalizer. Here there will be some delays will be there, then delay is given delay lines with the tapping spaced as a simple period Ts. So here this equalizer tries to reduce the intersymbol interference distortion generated by the channel. Okay, so just to reduce the interference we are using this linear transversal equalizer. Okay, then linear equalizer, it is normally implemented by FIR filter, so it is called transversal filter. This type of equalizer is easily available. Okay, so this linear equalizers are implemented by using the FIR filter. Okay, so it is called transversal filter. It is also called as transversal filter. This type of equalization is easily available. Okay, so here what they are doing is in this type of equalization, the present value and the past value of the received signal are linearly weighted by the filter coefficient. Okay, we know there will be a present values will be there, the past values will be there. Okay, the receiver side. So these values will be linearly weighted by the filter coefficient. We know they will set some filter coefficient by using the training sequence and the tracking mode. So in this, the present values and past values of the received signals are linearly weighted by some filter coefficient and sum to produce the output. Okay, that is here in this, in the adaptive equalizer, we know while by sending the training sequence they are setting some filter coefficient. Here they are linearly weighting the received signal with some filter coefficient and they are summed together to produce the output. Here the figure shows the structure of linear equalizer. So here in this, okay, here in this, the input signal yk plus n1, it is given to the delay line c set power minus 1 and then to the weighting coefficient w star power minus 1 minus n1. Okay, that is the filter coefficients or tap weights. Okay, this w star just denotes the complex filter coefficients or the tap weights. Okay, then from this filter coefficient and the output of that is summed together. Okay, they will set some filter coefficient, that is w star of n. So these all summed together just to produce the linear filter output. Okay, from the output of the linear equalizer before a threshold values detection, dk cap, okay, the output of the transverse, that is the output of the linear equalizer before the threshold decision. Okay, so that is dk cap is equal to sigma n is equal to minus nt to nt wn star of yk minus n. Okay, wn star, what is wn star? That is the complex filter coefficients or tap weights. dk cap is the output at time index k. yi is the input received signal at time t0 plus it. t0 is the equalizer starting time. Here the n value, okay, number of taps, n is the number of taps, that is equal to n1 plus n2 plus 1. Okay, the minimum mean square error E of mod E of n the whole square that a linear equalization can achieve is equal to t by 2 pi integral of minus pi by t to pi by t n naught by modulus of x of e j omega t the whole square plus n naught d omega. X of e power j omega t is the frequency response of the channel, n naught is the noise power spectral density. Okay, so the linear equalizer can also be implemented by using the lattice filter. This figure shows the implementation of the linear equalizer by using the lattice structure. So here in this lattice filter, the input signal is converted into n intermediate forward and backward errors respectively. Okay, when you look onto this figure, it is clear that f1 of k, f2 of k, etc. up to fn of k, it is called forward error signals, and b2 of k, b1 of k, etc. is bn, that is called backward error signals. Okay, in this type of filter, the input signal is transformed into a set of intermediate forward and backward error signals respectively. Okay, each stage of the lattice is then characterized by the following recursive equation: f1 of k is equal to b1 of k, that is a forward and backward error signals, that is equal to I of k. So fn of k is equal to, we can write it as, that is equal to y of k minus sigma I is equal to 1 to n ki y of k minus I, that is equal to f of n minus 1 into k plus k n minus 1 of k plus b n minus 1 of k minus 1. Okay, so b n of k is equal to y of k minus n minus sigma I is equal to 1 to n ki y of k minus n plus I plus b n minus 1 into k minus 1 plus k n minus 1 into k f n minus 1 of k. So here k n of k is the reflection coefficient for the nth stage of the lattice. Okay, so it is the reflection coefficient. Then the Bn backward error signal are then used as the input to the tap weights. Okay, so here the tap weights are there. So the inputs of the tap weights are the backward error signal. Okay, to the tap weights, and the output of the equalizer is given by dk cap is equal to sigma n is equal to 1 to n w n of k b n of k. So what are the advantage of the lattice equalizer? The main advantages of this lattice equalizer is the numerical stability, faster coverage, unique structure of the lattice filter. Unique structure of the lattice filter allows the dynamic assignment of the most effective length of the lattice equalizer. So here the main disadvantage is it is more complicated than a linear transversal equalizer. Okay, so the lattice equalizer, the main advantages are it provides the faster coverage. Okay, faster coverage, that is they are checking forward and backward error simultaneously. So it provides the numerical stability, faster coverage, unique structure of the lattice filter, which allows the dynamic assignment of the most effective length of the lattice equalizer. Disadvantage: it is more complicated than a linear transversal equalizer. Then the non-linear equalization. So what is the non-linear equalization? So in the non-linear equalization, what about it? What about the feedback path in the non-linear equalization? So here in the non-linear equalization, the output is feedback to change the future output of the equalizer. So in the non-linear equalization, if the channel distortion is too severe in the linear equalization to handle, that is in the linear equalizer they are setting some filter coefficient without knowing it. Okay, in the non-linear equalization they are using some training sequence first, and based on the reception of the training sequence they will set some filter coefficient value. Okay, then using that filter coefficient they will send the data, they will set the filter coefficient and they will receive the data. So it is more effective, I think. So if the channel distortion is too severe in the linear equalizer to handle, then the non-linear equalizers are used to compensate the distortion. So this non-linear equalization is more efficient than linear equalization. There are three non-linear equalization method, that is which is used in most of the 2G as well as 3G system. They are decision feedback equalization, maximum likelihood symbol detection, maximum likelihood sequence estimation. So first the decision feedback equalization. So here in this decision feedback equalization is if the further symbols include induce intersymbol interference that can be estimated and subtract out before the detection of the subsequent symbol. Okay, so this is mainly used that is if they will induce the intersymbol interference that can be estimated and subtracted before the detection of the subsequent symbol. Okay, so the decision feedback equalizer can be realized by direct transversal by the direct transversal form or as a lattice filter. Okay, here in this it consists of a feed forward filter and a feedback filter. Okay, the structure of the decision feedback equalizer is shown here. So in the top portion, which is similar to the linear transversal equalizer, then the output, from the output it is feedback to the feed forward filter for the correction. Okay, so here the feedback filter is driven by the decision of the output of the detector, and its coefficients can be adjusted to cancel the inter-symbol interference on the current symbol from the past detected symbol. Okay, so here the equalizer has N1 plus N2 plus 1 taps the forward filter and N3 taps in the feedback filter, and its output can be expressed as dk cap is equal to sigma n is equal to minus n1 to n2 wn star yk minus n. While you are going through this, just draw the block diagram first in your notebook, then go through this. Okay, then only you will clear it. Okay, so sigma n is equal to minus n1 to n2 wn star yk minus n plus sigma I is equal to 1 to ns fi dk minus I. Okay, wn star and yn are the tap gains and the input to the forward filter. Okay, fi star is the tap gains for the feedback filter. Di of I less than k is the previous decision made on the detected signal. Okay, once the dk cap is obtained, then dk is decided from it. Okay, once we obtain the dk cap value, we can able to decide the dk value from that output. So the minimum mean square error is given by E of modulus of E of n the whole square minimum is equal to expression of t by 2 pi integral minus pi by t to pi by t ln of n naught divided by modulus of x of e power j omega t the whole square plus n naught. Okay, so this decision feedback equalizer has significantly smaller minimum mean square error than a linear transversal equalizer. Okay, so here the minimum mean square error is reduced comparing to the linear transversal equalizer. So here it is more appropriate for severely distorted wireless channel. The lattice implementation of the decision feedback equalizer is equivalent to a transversal decision feedback equalizer having a feed forward filter of length n1 and a feedback filter of length n2. Okay, where n1 is greater than n2. Okay, this one is the predictive decision feedback equalizer. It is a type of the decision feedback equalizer. Here it consists of a feed forward filter. Okay, feed forward filter as in the conventional DFE. Here the feedback filter is called noise predictor. Okay, this feedback filter is called a noise predictor because it will predict the noise. Okay, and it will reduce the inter-symbol interference contained in the signal at the f output. Okay, and subtract it from the detector output after some feedback delay. Okay, it is just a predictive decision feedback filter. Here they are using a feedback filter. It is mainly used to reduce the interference contained in the signal at the output and subtract it from the detector output after some feedback delay. Okay, today it's enough. You have to write the notes and you have to send it to me. Okay, thank you dear students.